Welcome to a special Corvette Today Extra. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. Today, I have with me Jim Mero, the retired Corvette test driver, and Joe Lanza, the business development manager for Solar Performance. Today, we're going to be talking about Jim's firsthand experience with Solar Performance products. Jim, Joe, welcome back to Corvette Today, guys.
Hey, it's a pleasure being on. I think this is time number 3 or 4. I always enjoy conversations with you, sir.
Steve, thanks for having me. And Jim, it's great to be on with you.
My pleasure.
Joe, first off, the two main products for Solar Performance are installed in over 900 vehicles, the throttle controller and the high-performance throttle bodies. Can you tell us a little bit about what the throttle controller does first?
Sure, Steve. So as most may know, there is no more drive-by cable in cars. The old days was a cable going from the gas pedal through the firewall to your carburetor. All of that, as most of you know, has gone away, and it's now what's called drive-by-wire, which essentially is a pressure sensor at your gas pedal that measures how much pressure you're applying to your gas pedal. That electronically goes to your throttle body, which used to be your carburetor, and it literally tells the blade of the throttle body how much to open and how much acceleration, therefore, you will get for a given amount of pressure on the gas pedal. Manufacturers, for lots of reasons, Steve, like miles per gallon concerns, measuring miles per gallon across the fleet, safety in terms of measured acceleration, rather what we all enjoy in spirited driving, which is that instant acceleration, those things tend not to exist in drive-by-wire. So what we do with the controller is effectively remap the math equation, if you will, from that pressure in your gas pedal, telling the throttle body, as an example, don't open up 3 degrees, open up 5 degrees. And that changes the entire dynamic of driving in terms of instantaneous acceleration. And you will honestly feel like you have gained horsepower, even though factually you have not. What we like to say, Steve, is we're unleashing the true engine in these cars. We don't have a horsepower problem in these cars. What we have is a mapping problem in terms of more the conservative nature of the product from the factory. And our throttle controller basically gives you 10 different modes and 64 different options. So you can actually select the way you want your acceleration to be.
That's awesome. Now let's talk a little bit about throttle bodies as well, Joe.
Sure. So the throttle body has been referred to as the referee of the engine. Engines are really just a giant air pump. And so the more air in mixed with fuel helps determine what the actual power and acceleration of that vehicle is going to be. So the throttle bodies that we have allow more air inflow than the OEM stock throttle bodies do. And then people ask, well, if the car can handle a larger throttle body, why didn't the manufacturer just install that? Sort of what I call the dirty little secret is, and it's no disrespect to the manufacturers because they are rightfully taking advantage of economies of scale. But if I told you that the C7 throttle body size and model is the same one in the C8, it's the same one in the Silverado truck, the Yukon, the GMC, the Camaro Gen 6, and the list goes on, they are able to use the same part across millions and millions of GM vehicles, which on one hand is smart, but on the other hand is not allowing each one of these differentiated vehicles to take full advantage of having more air. And I think the best way to validate that is when you put a larger throttle body that we make on these vehicles, they do not require a tune. You get no check engine light. And the vehicle absolutely enjoys having that additional, in the situation of the C8, 20% more airflow coming in. And you feel it in the acceleration, you feel it in the shifting of the gears, and you just have a much more smooth and fun car to drive.
That sounds awesome. Now, Jim, you've got over 40,000 laps on racetracks around the world. That includes the Nürburgring, Virginia International Raceway. And I understand you recently installed both of these products into your C6 Grand Sport. Tell me about your reaction before and after the installation.
Well, the funny thing is that Joe contacted me probably last fall. Joe, obviously knows what he's talking about, but he's given this to me. And I'm thinking to myself, it's a damn Corvette. This thing, push pedal accelerates, right? Needless to say, I was skeptical, but Joe's a persistent guy. And when I finally got back to Michigan, a few days later, a box showed up on my front porch with the solar equipment. And I think I still put them off for another month or something. And then I'm like, okay, Joe is such a nice guy. I'm going to put it in the car. So I installed the throttle body and I installed the controller. I went out and I did a baseline. Well, then I started messing with the different modes in the throttle controller. It's like when I do ride and handling, I'm going to spend a day at this and then I'll go back to the OEM to see where I'm really at. It's kind of what I always did. And then over time, you're driving all these rough roads and things. You're like, this is not any good. And then I go back to the OEM setting. I'm like, oh, yeah. Well, the same thing happened here. After spending at least a day, I went back to the OEM setting and I'm like, holy crap. I had no idea what I was missing when I started paying attention to the car's response to my TPS throttle percent. In a Corvette, I can't believe how unresponsive and sluggish the car feels in the OEM setting compared to what I just spent a day and a half tuning. I wasn't even home yet. I called Joe. I go, I can't believe this. First thing I told him is, you're never getting these parts back. And then I said, if I need one of these for my Duramax diesel truck, because it's worse than the Corvette.
Yeah.
So you're driving home and I'm thinking, oh my God, the application. In 2022, I bought a 2500 Duramax to tow my boats and my RV. And this is way before Joe contacted me in solar. I was astounded by the lack of throttle response, mostly driving down the highway, and I wanted to get around the car or accelerate and pass somebody or any kind of acceleration. And I was just astounded by how far I had to go into the throttle just to get a moderate acceleration. It always bothered me. After I drove the Corvette, I said, Joe, can you get me one of these for my Duramax? And they did, and I put it in. And like the Corvette, it is a completely different truck. And I posted that on the forum, and I know they're a forum buyer. Several had Duramax, also 2500s, and even some half tons they put this into, and it completely changes the truck. It's amazing. And I drive the truck a lot more than I drive the Corvette. It is so much easier, better to drive. It's just a nice, crisp, linear response to my throttle input. It's amazing.
Fantastic.
As soon as this interview's over, I'm driving down to meet a bunch of guys at the roads that we work on in southeastern Ohio. Now we just spend a day and a half tearing them up. I can't wait to get down there because the beauty of the mapping is, okay, I got for everyday driving, I think I'm in Sport 4 or something like that. Well, I may get down there and want a completely different mapping. And maybe more, maybe less. I don't know. But just to have the ability, they give you a display that you can change mapping on, but you can also Bluetooth it to your phone, which is a lot easier, and do different mappings on the fly.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about, what about guys who modify their horsepower? In my business, I've seen thousands of ZR1s with over 1,000 horsepower. And I'm like, they're driving a C6 ZR1 and they're driving around with throttle mapping for 638 horse.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about weather. I started thinking about driving in the wet, and all different things like that. When I retired, there was a lot of people who wanted me to endorse their products. And I said, unless I either evaluate them or am part of the development, I can't put my name on something that I have no idea. And this is the first time I said, absolutely, I'm on board. I am 100% beside this product. 100% believe in it. I think it's going to make the driving experience way better for any customer. And here we are.
Yeah, that speaks volumes, my friend. And Joe, there is a really cool feature about solar performance. There's a lock feature for the throttle controller that protects your Corvette from thieves. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure, Steve. It's funny. We added that feature, and we've literally had people come up to us and say, look, I just want to know about the lock feature. I don't really think the acceleration's a problem, sort of like what Jim was saying. You don't know what you don't know. And so I walked them through the feature for locking the vehicle. So effectively what we're doing is on your app on your phone, you just go to our solar app that you download for free. You go to settings and there's a little green toggle button that you push. It turns green, which now means your car is in the locked position. And what that technically means is that we have electronically disabled the gas pedal from that throttle body. So if they get your RFID code somehow through these tracers that people now can buy to unlock your car and, believe it or not, start your car, or if they just happen to get your key fob, start the car, when they put it in reverse or drive and they hit the gas pedal, nothing will happen. The car will only idle, but the gas pedal is effectively dead at that point. Hitting the green button, having it go off, your gas pedal is fully back. And so if you're a thief, time is your enemy. You get in a Corvette, you start it and you put it in reverse or drive, you hit the pedal and nothing happens, you're really not in the business of diagnosing. So you're probably exiting that car and trying to go on to the next one. The National Corvette Museum Insurance recognizes this device as a passive alarm. So if you insure through them, make sure you mention that you have it, and you will get a discount if the state in which you live does honor and allow discounts on policies.
That's fantastic. Jim, you've also got some great perspective on the only 3 touch points a driver has with their car. With your suspension enhancement business and these 2 products from Solar, it addresses 2 of these 3 touch points, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's another thing I thought of when I was driving. Driver has 3 contact points with the car: the steering wheel, the seat, and the pedals. Obviously, as when I was gainfully employed, I did my best to calibrate the steering so it gave you great feedback. It was responsive. And the seat, it's all about chassis tuning, ride of the vehicle. That's where you get all your inputs. And the third one is the pedals. If I put my car back to the OEM throttle and the OEM suspension with the Solar and the new calibration, it's a completely different car. It's amazing. The technology moves on, the cars don't. So now you can take your car and upgrade it and have it very close to what they're selling out of the showrooms today.
Yeah. And a lot of people like me mod their Corvettes. You feel like the Solar throttle controller is a must then, don't you?
The first time when I went through this, I just told Steve, I go, hey, I don't know if we work together on this, but I'll never send these parts back to you. Skeptical as I was, I couldn't call him fast enough to compliment Solar on what they've done for the car.
Yeah. Jim, your Grand Sport has both of these products installed on it. Was your Grand Sport's engine modified prior to adding the Solar throttle controller and the throttle body?
No, but it feels like it's got about 50 or 60 more horsepower.
Yeah.
It's on my to-do list, which is a mile long. There are things I want to do to it. I just don't have time. It's a different car. It feels like it's probably got 70 or 80 more horsepower, and it's off for under $250. When I do make modifications, I'm probably going to want a different mapping. Well, it's just a matter of going to the app and finding the mapping the car likes with that horsepower, and I'm done.
There you go. Joe, Solar Engineering offers a 30-day buy and try, 100% full money back guarantee on all their products. Isn't that right?
Yes, Steve. I mean, the great thing about the products at Solar is they do offer a 30-day, no questions asked, 100% full money back, and we'll even send the shipping label because, frankly, as you've heard from Jim, we just don't get them back. And if we did, then obviously that model wouldn't last very long. And so we stand behind the products because we know to try it is to buy it and love it and not send it back.
There you go.
And the other thing I found out when I was talking to people and on the Corvette forum is people mistake this 30-day, I might have used the word warranty. The product's not warranty for 30 days. You got 30 days just to send it back and no questions asked. They won't even bat an eye. I don't think you'll ever do.
Yeah, and no questions asked either. And Joe, you do not need a tune on your Corvette when you install either or both of these products, right?
That's 100% correct. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to make any other investments. You don't have to go and worry about messing with it. You don't interfere with warranty issues because you're not effectively changing the mappings of the tune to the car nor the air-fuel mixtures. In the case of the throttle body relearns the airflow through the ECU. If there was an issue, it would throw a check engine light and the car ultimately would go into limp mode. It does none of the above because the car can absolutely handle the additional airflow. And believe me, we've done so much flow bench testing, knowing what that limit is. I mentioned earlier that we are providing 20% more airflow. The reason why it's not 22% or 23% is that's the maximum airflow that ECU can handle and is comfortable with.
Got it. And we have a special promo code for Corvette Today listeners and viewers. Isn't that right, Joe?
Yeah, so for all of you joining today, we want to give you the benefit of not only having the 30-day buy and try. Again, all of our parts do carry a 1-year warranty, which is effectively the same as any OEM GM product that you would purchase for your car. And the code is Corvette Today 5, or better said, C as in Corvette, T as in today, and the number 5. You will get a discount at checkout. So just make sure you look for the discount code box and type in C as in Corvette, T as in today, and the number 5. hit apply, and you'll see the discount come off immediately.
Fantastic. Jim Mero, thank you for being with us. Joe Lanza, we appreciate you and all the products, and we appreciate solar performance. Thanks again for being on this Corvette Today Extra, guys.
It's my pleasure. It's always an honor to be with you, and we really appreciate, as Corvette owners, what you're doing for the brand.
Yeah, Steve, ditto. I couldn't have said it any better. We really appreciate the time and dedication you put into this, and it makes our cars just better and better.